find a comfortable way to sit, and we'll begin with breath. Your eyes can find one spot to focus on, or you can simply close your eyes. Bring one hand onto your belly and just take a moment to breathe fully in through your nose. Let your lungs fill from the bottom to the top. And exhale gently through your mouth like a sigh. Do this a few more times, and mentally release everything that's not here on your mat. Give yourself this time to fully embrace your breath, your body, and your baby. Continue to contract the throat muscles in the same way that you do with those sighs, but try that now with your lips sealed. So your breath will be a little more audible than usual. Some call this the loud breath. The traditional name is Ujjayi breath. And it should sound a bit like you're breathing waves in the ocean. Make sure that as you breathe in this way, your face still feels relaxed, your shoulders are soft, and feel for a sense of rooting further down through the sit bones as you breathe in. And from there, grow taller through your spine. And let your exhalations be a balance of softening your face, neck, and shoulders while you draw your baby closer to your back. And we need that pattern to continue for the full length of this practice, creating length and space on the inhales, and that balance of softness and strength at the core with each exhale. Keep this pattern going, and with both hands on the knees, inhale to circle the ribs to one side and forward. Exhale to the other side and back. And keep going in that same direction a few more times. Inhale, change directions. And feel as though you're stirring up any tension that has settled at the base of your back. Come to the center, sit up tall. Notice how you're feeling so far. And we'll transition to hands and knees. You can have your blocks nearby in case you need them in just a moment. And your blanket can go under your knees, or you can move it off to the side. With your hands below your shoulders and your knees about hip distance or maybe a little further apart, take a slow exhalation and round your back to come into cat pose. Really press into the hands and feet and lift your baby away from the floor. Spread the shoulders wide apart. And inhale now, keeping belly close to the spine. Take your head and tail back to cow. And exhale, round the spine to cats. Take a few more rounds of this basic spinal movement. This is a great way to keep your abdominal muscles strong and your back muscles comfortable throughout your pregnancy. And this movement even tones the uterine muscles. We'll add a little bit here, so keep exhaling to round the spine into cat, but take the knees a little wider and the big toes to touch so you have space to sink the hips back toward the heels, almost into child's pose. Look up towards your hands, and with the elbows bent, inhale, glide the chest forward and up. Still strong through the belly as you take the head and tail back to cow. Exhale, round your spine, hug baby up away from the floor, and sink your hips back towards your heels. We'll keep going with this flow a few more times. Inhale, glide the chest forward and up to cow. Exhale, round the spine, and as you lift your belly up, also create a bit of a squeeze of the pelvic floor. Those muscles between the two sit bones. And inhale, glide the chest forward and up to cow. Exhale, round the spine, sink the hips back. So anytime your back is sore during your pregnancy, you can take this flow as a way to open it up. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat to child's pose, all the way to child's pose this time. And let your forehead rest down either onto your mat, or some like to stack one hand, one fist on top of the other to have a little more height. You can also use a block under your head here. That's better if you have heartburn or if you have a lot of pressure in your head when it goes down. Come back to this pose as often as you'd like. And for now, let's inhale, come back up to hands and knees. You can take your feet apart and tuck your toes under. Step your hands a little forward of your shoulders and lift your knees off the ground to come into down dog. So looking at your feet, make sure that they're about hip distance apart for second trimester in pregnancy, or about mat distance apart if you are in your third trimester. This will give your belly, your baby, plenty of space. Take another full breath and really press through your palms. Let your hips stretch up and back. That might mean that your knees need to bend a little bit more, and that's fine. Now with an exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold. If you are further along in your pregnancy, your feet might have to go wider than your mat so that you can fold as much as feels comfortable to you without putting pressure on your belly. Now you can stay in this deep forward fold or stay propped up a little bit more. Again, especially if you've got heartburn or if you've got a lot of pressure in your head when you fold, stay propped up. And either way, if you're in a deep fold or half fold, you can give your hips a little sway, a little shift from side to side. And bring a bend to your knees and step your hands up to your thighs. Round your spine. Pull your baby in toward your back and inhale to slowly roll your way up to standing. Let your shoulders soften down your back. And you can keep your feet as wide as you had them for your forward bend. And stand tall in mountain pose. Lift up your toes, root the tail down. Draw the ribs slightly back so that they're aligned over your hips. And inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, take a slight bend to your knees and swan dive forward. Be sure to keep your baby close to your spine as you fold. That will protect your back. And we'll inhale, lift halfway. Hands can come to shins or the thighs to help you flatten out your back. Exhale, fold again. Slight bend to the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach the arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands to prayer. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, swan dive forward. Keep your belly strong as you fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Slight bend to the knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, rise up. Exhale, hands to prayer. Now we'll build onto this sequence. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, slight bend to the knees, swan dive forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, flatten out your back. Exhale, hands to the mat, walk the hands forward so that you come back into down dog. Inhale, bring your knees down, your shoulders align right above the wrist, and your hands can come onto your blocks here. Exhale, step the right foot forward. And if you're not that far along, if you're early in your second trimester, you might feel like you don't need the blocks, in which case you can just skip using them. They come in really handy as you get further along. So to deepen the stretch, you can move the left knee, the back knee, further back, or keep it a little closer, especially if you've had a lot of sacroiliac pain or even pubic bone pain in your pregnancy. And to help prevent those discomforts, really press your feet into the ground and feel as though you're trying to squeeze the feet a bit closer together so your legs are very active. Your hands can stay down or step the right hand up to the right thigh and inhale, sweep the left arm up. The right arm can lift up as well if you'd like. We'll take a few breaths here, keeping that feeling of strength through the legs. Create length through the spine with each inhale. And each exhale, be sure to find that sense of softness through your face. Pull your belly toward your spine, keeping baby close. One more breath here, inhale. And on the exhale, you can bring your hands down at the same time, or for more support, right hand to the right thigh as the left hand comes down. And once both hands are down, inhale to step back to table pose. Your hands can come right below the shoulders again. Exhale, round the spine. Sink the hips back toward the heels. Inhale, glide the chest forward and up to cow pose. With the toes tucked and feet wide, exhale, lift the knees, down dog. Take 3 breaths here. So you might already recognize this sequence. It's a modified form of the sun salutation. So it's a little bit easier during pregnancy to walk the hands forward from down dog rather than stepping the feet forward to your lunge. So we modify it a bit. But hopefully this will become second nature to you, just as your regular sun salutation once was. Inhale, bring the knees down so you're back to table pose. Hands to the blocks if you'd like. Exhale, left foot forward, outside the block or outside the hands. This is really important to give your belly plenty of space. You can slide the right knee back as far as feels good to you, and then really plug the feet into the floor. Push them down, and feel as though you're trying to squeeze your feet closer to each other. Hands can stay here, or left hand to the left thigh, and inhale, sweep the right arm up. The left arm can join when you're ready, and take a few full breaths here, creating length as you breathe in. The vertebrae in the spine spread apart. And as you exhale, hug baby in toward the spine to help hold all that length that you've made. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, bring the hands down. Remember, they can come together or one at a time. And then we'll inhale, step back, and you can move your blocks and lift the knees, down dog. Take a full inhale, let the spine stretch long. With your knees bent, exhale, walk your hands back toward the feet so you come into your forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold towards your legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Make sure the knees are still bent, the belly strong as you rise. And exhale, bring the hands to prayer in front of your heart. Take a full breath, notice how you feel. Let your arms relax. And you can come to stand in a wide position with your feet about as wide as your wrists are when your arms are open to the side. Now you can bring your hands down and turn your right toes out. Take a deep bend to your right knee and open the arms out to the side to find warrior two. In this position, we tend to allow the belly to pull the spine forward, so we come into more of a back bend. So see if you can resist that. Draw your ribs back and let the ribs lift up as you're breathing in so that you keep that length in the lower back. And take another full breath, let the arms stretch wide. And exhale, land the right forearm to the right thigh. Your left arm can reach straight up or bring your arm alongside your ear. Keep length through the side of your body by pressing through the outer edge of the left foot and reach strongly out through the left fingertips. If this feels like a bit much for the right side body, especially if your baby's been hanging out on that side a lot, you can instead bring your hand onto your thigh. Another option here is to use a block underneath the right hand. Some find that more stable, more comfortable. Let's take one more breath. And keeping your belly really strong, inhale, rise up to warrior two. And exhale, relax the arms down, straighten your right knee and turn your toes in. And turn the left toes out. We'll take that to the other side. Inhale, open the arms wide. And exhale, bend the left knee. So remember to keep your belly drawn in. And sometimes as we get further along in pregnancy, it makes sense to widen this front foot. You can take it out so that the feet don't actually line up. Sometimes that feels more steady, more stable. Once you find a comfortable stance, breathe. Find that there's that lengthening as you breathe in, and softness and strength as you breathe out. One more breath, inhale. Exhale, left forearm to the thigh. Right arm can reach straight up or bring your arm alongside your ear. Press firmly through the outer right foot and stretch actively through the right fingertips. So lots of length through the right side. Inhale, rise up to the center, warrior two. And exhale, relax your arms down. Straighten the left leg and turn your left toes in. And realign your feet if necessary so your heels line up together. And hands can either come to the back of your hips or you can clasp your hands behind your back. Either way, take just a slight bend to your knees and let your tailbone root down. Inhale, lift up through the ribs. Reach up through the crown of your head and you can look toward the ceiling. And exhale, hinge forward from the hips. Let your arms lift away from your back as you fold. And you can keep this clasp of the hands, sending arms away from your back. Or if you'd like to, you can bring your hands down under the shoulders to your blocks or to your mat for a little more support. So remember, if you've had a lot of heartburn or reflux, it's a better idea to stay propped up, maybe even a little higher than halfway to help keep that discomfort away. Otherwise, fold as deeply as you'd like. In this pose, our baby has lots of space because the feet are wide, plenty of room for belly between the legs. Let's take another full breath. Inhale, lift up halfway if you're not already there. And on the exhale, heel toe your feet a little closer in. And with your toes turned out a little wider than your heels, bend your knees to come into a squat position. For some people in the squat, the heels don't touch all the way down. So if that's the case for you, if your heels stay lifted, tuck your blanket underneath the heels so you have something to ground them into. Your hands can stay down on the floor or on a block here. That helps you find more length in your spine. One other option is to bring the hands together in prayer in front of your heart. You can squeeze the thighs against the arms and press your arms out against your thighs. And take a few full breaths here, creating length through your spine as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel for strength at the base of the pelvis. Feel that you're drawing together the two sitting bones, the tailbone, and the pubic bone gradually as you breathe all the way out. And then inhale, gradually soften those pelvic muscles. A few more breaths, each exhale, pull the pelvic floor up. And each inhale, soften it down. Next exhale, bring your hands down. Lift your hips up and widen the feet just a little more. Give your knees, or your hips rather, a rock from side to side. Hands can come to your blocks if you'd like. Slowly bend the knees and have a seat this time. So from your squat, you can take the hands behind you and gently sit down. We'll bring the soles of the feet to touch in bound angle pose. This is another place where you might want a blanket tucked under the sit bones. And we'll hold on to either the ankles or the knees, and your feet can be pretty far ahead of your sit bones. They don't need to be pulled very close to your sitting bones. And take a full inhale, lift up through the heart. Take your head gently back and draw the shoulder blades back so you're really open through the front body here. Now exhale and hinge from your hips. Reach your belly forward, reach your chest forward, and when you feel like you've folded enough, let your spine round, your head can tilt down. Keep your belly drawn toward your spine and inhale to roll the spine up again, lifting the heart and the head at the top of the inhale. The shoulders are drawn back. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Let your spine round at the bottom of the exhale. Inhale, roll the spine up, lift the heart, lift the head, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. One more time, inhale, roll up. Exhale, fold. And this time you can stay in your fold. You can move your hands to your feet, or some like to walk the hands out way forward. See what feels good to you. And it may feel nice to gently sway your upper body from side to side. Inhale, slowly roll your spine up. Good. You can swing your feet to one side. And we'll be coming onto our left side. I like to put my blocks stacked one on top of the other for this pose, just outside of my mat. And I'll take my bolster, also just outside of the mat. And then the blanket folded up. That'll be like my pillow. So I'm gonna lay on my left side with my left leg fully extended. My right leg is bent and placed on top of the bolster. So my right leg is at an angle, a 90-degree angle at the hip and at the knee. And then I'm using these blocks to support my right arm. And I might fold this blanket up again so that it creates a nice pillow for my head so that my spine is neutral. If you're further along in your pregnancy, you might need to also tuck a blanket here under your belly so that you have a little bit of support for your back and your baby. So just take a moment to get comfortable here on your side. This is a really safe and comfortable way to relax during pregnancy. It's also a great way to sleep. And just like you would take your traditional Shavasana, take a moment to rearrange your body as much as needed so that you can be completely relaxed. And take a few deep breaths in through the nose, out through your mouth. Let your body settle heavily into the ground. Let all of your muscles soften. And simply observe how you feel. And simply relax. You can rest here as long as you'd like. And when it's time for you to come up, do so slowly by pressing your right hand into the ground. Extend the right leg and gradually come up to a seat. Thank yourself for taking this time out of your day to return to your breath, to honor your body, and to connect with your baby. Namaste.